Hey, everybody. Long time no see. You know me. I know you. What's up, Ryan?
How's it going, Spence? I do know you. Long time no see, but that small cap conference was actually really awesome.
Excellent. Yes, I'm glad we got some good feedback. And it was our last one of the year. So if you missed it, tough. You have to wait till our next one, whenever that is. I don't even know. But we had what I think like 30 or more companies present. We had Funware. We had companies like Knights. We had some really cool companies, cannabis companies, psychedelics, companies that are like doing like gas delivery, so you don't have to go to the gas station, which I thought was pretty insane, in a good way. But yeah, a ton of great companies. The events team always does a great job in getting finding cool companies for us. Ryan, I have to admit that I'm like a little bit out of it because we weren't doing shows yesterday or the last 2 days, so I wasn't looking at the market like all as much as I usually do. So I know overall what happened, but from a trader standpoint, how have the last 2 days been for you?
So the last 2 days have actually been relatively uneventful.
Okay.
The market has been really, really low volume. And in fact, you can see that if you pull up a SPY chart on the daily, you can actually just take a look at the volume candles and you'll quickly realize that it was lower than the several days prior to that. We're having like a condensing volume time right now. Yesterday, we got a little bit of a sell-off late in the afternoon, but didn't really do any damage to anything of note. The day before, we pretty much just stayed in a range. There was not a whole lot to do. It seems to me like a lot of the stocks that are producing day trading opportunities are technical range breaks or something like, junky stocks that are moving on some piece of news or something of that nature. I think that you probably won't see large moves in some of these bigger equities until the first of the year, when capital deployment restarts again. It does appear as if tax selling is done. We'll see if any type of tax selling or tax harvesting starts up a little bit later, but it just seems kind of like a low volume time. The one thing that might happen is we might get that Santa Claus rally a little early and then still kind of sell off until the end of the year. But I'm not going to bet on that. I'm just going to react to whatever it is that I see.
All right, Zunaid, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good morning. Doing all right, man. I've got my screen shared. If you'd like to put it up, I can go through a couple of things.
I do want to put up, but I want to roll our intro first and get some tunes going. So let's do that.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas law, that phrase.
Kiana.
Fisher.
Joy.
Joe. Cards drawn are the past, ones to come are future.
And the best part? It's beatable.
All right, what's up, fam? Go ahead, drop us a like. We'd appreciate that. I'm going to throw on some tunes.
Where's Mitch?
Mitch is
I
working.
think I scared him away.
No, Mitch is working on his technology right now. He's also he did put in to take the day off, so he's here, but he also is not here today. So
Gotcha.
I don't know, and he's having some technology issues again. So I got my music though. I got my thing going. I got Zunaid's charts up on the screen. Zunaid, what are we looking at?
All
What
right.
is that? Is that Apple? Never heard of it.
Never heard of Apple. Well, you will in a second, by the way. Brent in the chat. What's up, man? Hope you're feeling better. I know you
What's going on, Brett?
A while back, so hope you're feeling better. I've got
Great
some
job
Indian
emceeing
remedies.
the conference yesterday, by the way, as well.
I've got some Indian remedies if you want them. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at Apple. I've got a couple of alerts already set. I've got the alert set here at 174.14 and 174.64. This is where if Apple comes down here, I'd start nibbling a little bit and then really make sure I have full size here. And then the break of 174, I would go ahead and exit my way out. Can anyone guess? Well, I guess we'll just go through it. Where the QQQs went ahead and rejected yesterday. Would you look at that? The whole number of 400. Could not get over it. So we'll have to see if it's able to kind of test it again. Maybe we get like a push in the morning and then a drop later down, but I am going to go ahead and set an alert right around these levels in case we see some type of double top or anything like that, even though it looks like the market ripped right at 8:30 off of those numbers. But that's something else I'm keeping a look at, excuse me, for QQQ. It's not something I typically look at, but it is what I'm taking a look at now. Microsoft has bounced off of the 330 level multiple times, as you can see right here, the 331 right over here as well. So if for some reason Microsoft comes all the way down to these levels, I will look to get in to Microsoft as well. I am not sure where the market's going. I never know where the market's going, but those are the stocks that I'm looking at, seeing what's going on. Nvidia, possibly if somehow, some way it can get to these levels, I will go ahead and get in. Let me actually set an alert on this one here as well. Matter of fact, with Nvidia, what I might do, actually, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put in an order right now, a little risky one, to buy Nvidia at 310.20. So I have an order out right now. So as soon as the market opens, if it dips all the way below here, the 310 level, I will be in. And if it dips below, let's just say 309.40, I will be out. So I'm risking about 60 to 70 cents, hoping to at least test pre-market highs and then eventually on its way towards 315. So that's what I'm looking at. That's what I just put in an order at.
All right. NVIDIA order out. Let's see if we can get a fill. I'll pull up my Benzinga Pro. Check out our movers tool. See what's up, what's down this morning. You're seeing, of course, your big games of the day. Names you've seen by now. ORCL, AI, ISIG, your top three on the downside. EVBG, Everbridge. Their CEO abruptly resigned yesterday, so that's why it's down 41% today. American Outdoor Brands I did not look at yet this morning. Let's see, do they have earnings? Is that why? They did have earnings out yesterday after the close. Looks like they missed on the top line and they missed on the bottom line. So AOUT is out this morning. Moderna, we discussed on pre-market prep. They had some flu vaccine data that I guess was not as good as what is already out there, or not better than it was already out there. Chewy had earnings, getting punished off that this morning as well. Those are a few of your biggest losers today. Keep an eye on this list, and once we get to 9:30, we'll of course go over to our scanner tool and see what is up as far as market stuff.
So
Thank you. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, can I go over the stocks I'm watching this morning?
Yes, you can. Go for it.
All right. So a couple of them real quick. Number one, I'm going to be watching ASO. This is Academy Sports and Outdoors. Sorry about that. One sec here. Let me turn my volume down. This is Academy Sports and Outdoors. I'm actually long this into the earnings print that happened this morning. So we're up 6% here in the pre-market,
Awesome.
long the 45 call that expires today. So I took a little bit of Zunaid's magic and applied it to a trade that I had last night. And it looks to be like we're sitting at a winner. So we'll see how this behaves out of the open today. In addition to that, I don't know if you caught it in the chat, but we're also going to be having Playboy's CEO live on Benzinga today. Time is going to be 11:45 Eastern, so be sure to check that out. The last time Playboy's run several times on NFT news, so it'd be very interesting to see what takes place in this interview. I'm going to be watching that stock as well. Zunaid kind of mentioned it with Apple. I won't spend too much time on that. Apple's popping this morning. The VIX is melting this morning, so it looks like we're going to be in a pretty good situation. Mondays and Fridays are generally better days. I know we got destroyed last Friday, but this Friday it's looking pretty good. So we should have some opportunities here this morning.
Someone asked what time CPI is. You missed it. CPI was 45 minutes ago. And the number was fine. It was right in line with the estimates. So that's what I say when I mean by fine. It was expected. It was not a big surprise to the upside or the downside. And now all that remains is what does the Fed say on Wednesday. So that'll be our next macro headline to be aware of. Do they indicate more rate hikes and an accelerated taper of their bond purchases next year? We'll find out in a few days.
You mentioned Chewy already. If you want to go and pull mine up, look at where it is in terms of the whole numbers. So obviously, if I was awake a little bit earlier, maybe I could have tried to buy this little $50 area as a risk off, but I do have an alert set here. I might even actually, when Mitch goes over his stocks, if he's looking at any, just purchase Chewy right here in case I don't get the dip buy near that 50. But I can see that obviously, sold off all that. But look at that. Bounced off the 50, 50, 50. So I know Mitch has a rule of 3. Maybe the 4th time I don't get lucky, but I'm hoping for at least a dip buy here and then maybe get 70 cents at least, since I'm risking about 50 cents on Chewy. So I appreciate you mentioning that, Spencer, because I pulled up the chart and the first thing I saw was $50.
One thing I'd mention about what you said there, Zunaid, as I've been doing more research and kind of Elliott wave theory, what I noticed was my rule of 3 wasn't necessarily my rule. It was Elliott wave theory that I was seeing literally in the patterns, and it matches exactly how Elliott wave theory trades. So that just went to go show me that, hey, I might have been seeing what Elliott was watching. So I'm definitely happy that at least I was able to see the 3-3-3-3 pattern. That's a structure for triangles in Elliott waves. And literally, that's the rule of 3 right there. So if you look it up, you're just going to see it given by letters. So A, B, C, D, E. But definitely check it out, guys. I'm actually going to be coming back on later today at 11 to talk a little bit more about Elliott wave theory. So if you guys want to stick around for that, I definitely suggest you smash that thumbs up. I'm going to be here trading for about 30 minutes. I got to do a little bit of studying, but Spencer will be here at 9:45. We're going to get Joel Alconin to join. 10:30, we got another trader that's going to be joining us. So stick around. We got a lot going on today. Smash that thumbs up.
Yeah, we got Matt Kolb at 10:30. He's going to tell us all about end of year tax loss harvesting and what he has done. So we got a good show prepared today.
Do we have anyone? I'm only asking this because now I'm going through it. I know we've partnered up in affiliate wise with a tax individual or company or whatever. Do we have anything planned for like how to best do taxes as a day trader or anything like that? I'd love to like have someone come on and talk about that.
That's a great question.
Yeah,
we don't at the moment, but we can get something planned.
Yeah, because like having your LLC set up so you can expense all your stuff and all of that. I mean, there's so many individuals out there, especially retail traders that are watching us that may not have that knowledge to make sure not all their money goes to Uncle Sam. So it might be something to think about.
Okay.
That would be really awesome content.
Merry Christmas out there. Shout out to you.
Let's see what else is going on. I had Moderna pulled up, and I'm looking at Tesla as well. Tesla just could not find a bid yesterday. I mean, it just kept selling off. But you've got some things on your chart you want to talk about?
Guess who was short in Tesla yesterday?
Nice.
Mitch, can you share your charts?
Yeah, I got you. All
right, cool.
Let's get that up.
All right, let's get this off.
Yeah, no. I'm off with the T-Pain.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Stress.
You know what I'm gonna do I've gotten some good feedback in the chat. I'm gonna find like a really like soothing background music.
What I usually do is I just do lo-fi tunes.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
I think the chat just
Let's keep going. Let's take a look here at Tesla. See what's going to happen in Tesla today. Yesterday, I was able to get short. Nice trade yesterday. But today, it's starting to get back above 1,000. That's the point that, to me, I think you just need to watch today. If it gets below 1,000, I'll look for shorts. But if it just holds 1,000, I actually might be looking for a long in Tesla. Nice little flag pattern building here. I would look for a washout to that 1,000. Maybe even to the VWAP. It comes like right in between this 1,000 and let's say 103, then comes back up roaring through the 110s. If we just get a rip through 110s here, I think it goes up towards that 1020, and then I'll look for a pullback towards VWAP. This is not a bad one to take a look at. I'll definitely be watching Tesla. AMC getting drilled a little bit. I'm going to be looking to see what happens with this one today. GME also on the downside. We'll see what happens with those. DBS is one that I'm going to be looking to see what happens with apparel today. Macy's is also on my radar. A lot of these have gotten a little bit sleepy down here, have retraced massively. And if we're going to get a little bit of a Santa Claus rally, why not it come into these department stores and things like that? So I'm going to be looking to see if we get some life in these stocks today.
I just want to repeat what I said on pre-market prep about AMC for the day, because the title of today's show is I put it made it AMC related. There were a couple of big insider sales Tuesday in AMC. So here's what I want to walk through right now. I'm on Benzinga Pro. I'm on the homepage. This is like the default page for everyone on Benzinga Pro. If you go to a news feed, we'll do that right now.
Right.
Go to advanced or news feed. Doesn't matter for this case. So I'll just go.
I say the same thing. You see this comment?
Oh, nice. Okay.
You see that beard?
I'm going to go to the news feed and I'm going to change my sources. Here on the bottom, it says SEC. I'm going to deselect everything and only pick SEC. And I'm going to just click done. All right, now I have a news feed of just SEC filings. Well, there's so many, I want to search for just AMC. So at the top, I do a ticker search, AMC. I've got all AMC's filings forever, basically. Okay, you see 2 filings out last night. Okay, 456, 537. One from the CEO, one from the CFO. You can click on them both and learn a little bit more about what was actually in the transaction. First off, the date. It happened on Tuesday. How many shares were sold? In the case of the CEO, 312,500. At what price, or what was the average price? A little under $31. How many shares does he have left after the sale? The second thing I want to bring your attention to here is if you scroll down to this first footnote number uno, number 1 right there, you can see this code word, right? Rule 10b51 trading plan. All that means is that this was a planned transaction. It was a planned transaction. It was not spontaneous. They did not wake up on Tuesday morning and decide to sell their shares. This was a thing that has gone through. They've set out a plan ahead of time, and their broker or whomever is doing these sales on a scheduled basis is all that really means. So not really a surprise. If you've been following the story, you know that the CEO has been selling shares pretty much all year. I haven't seen too many from the CFO, but I haven't looked too closely. But you do have some big in terms of quantity and big in terms of like name. The CEO and the CFO, some big transactions this week in AMC. So the stock is down this morning, but I just want to clarify that they were planned sales, and it's not necessarily as bearish as the sale. If you only saw the number, and you would say, oh, the CFO sold all of his stock. Yes, with the caveat of 1, it was planned. 2, he probably has more options. So it's not necessarily as bearish as you would think. That being said, an insider sell is an insider sell, and they're always notable for that reason. So,
you know what, though, Spencer? Shout out to you for examining the footnotes, because honestly, that's something that I feel like is not done often enough, including myself. Sometimes when I'm rushing to check an SEC filing, I will not look at the footnotes, and there will be important information like that in there. That's a really good run through there. So he left. I guess he didn't want to hear that. He just kind of bounced and got out of here. That's Spencer's MO. Brent in the chat, Brent, who is a news desk expert, saying it's not bearish at all, in my opinion. So that's good enough for me. Oh, now he's back when I'm done. Okay, cool.
Thank you, Brent.
Did you hear anything that I said? Or
no,
no?
I'm a little bit congested, so I was blowing my nose. So
Gotcha.
I'm a little bit congested right now. Sorry.
Real quick, I did go ahead and purchase Chewy because my alerts went off, so I am in Chewy.
Wow, look at you.
Yeah, I know. We're hoping it works out, but we'll find out.
I heard this is kind of meme-like right now. Did you hear about that?
What?
Yeah, so supposedly some apes were picking this up. So that's why I'd be looking at it. Just be careful, because they were talking about how they wanted, get those short squeezes in this. So just keep an eye on it.
I don't get it. What's the meme?
Yeah. So if you look at swaggy stocks, Chewy is the 3rd most mentioned stock on Wall Street Bets in the last 24 hours.
That's what
you were referring to Chewy. Sorry, you said footnotes and stuff, so I was like, wait, what?
So no,
yeah,
Chewy.
Gotcha.
That's what I was trying to state. That, a lot of traders are watching it today, so just be careful for high volatile moves.
Gotcha.
Now the last thing I'm going to give before the bell here, guys, to watch tech, right? And so with the inflation's worry, we got to pop in the Qs, right? So that's what I'm watching to see at the gates here. Stocks like Apple, stocks like Tesla. Do you see how they're kind of the same charts? Look at AMD already ripping. Look at QCOM pushing on up. You see how they're the same charts? I'm going to be looking at all these right out the gates to see if we're going to go long tech here. But we definitely need to see a nice push here. Some other names you could take a look at. INTC I like today. Intel. Why? Because we had a gap up. It filled the gap. Now we can push right back towards that 52. I'm going to be looking for INTC right out the gates here, and we'll see if we get in this one.
A couple of things. Someone in the chat asked, are you trying to catch a falling knife? I believe it was Tom. Yeah, I am attempting to catch a falling knife, but not as a swing trade or anything like that necessarily, but simply, I'll go back to Chewy, simply because of this $50 bounce and how it's happened a couple of times here. And I'm hoping I can get at least a little bit. So my first sell is already at $50.70 and then $50.90. And then the rest I'm going to hold and see what happens. My stop loss will be below $50. So I'm just trying to play the bounce from 50. That's all it is. I could be easily wrong here in the matter of seconds. Who knows? It's already at $50 right there. But someone wanted me to take a look at ORCL. It's doing really well here, pre-market. I already have a nice $2-3 run here. You can see the next level that I've got is about 105, which makes sense. So maybe risking around 70 cents if you're going to try to get in here is not bad. And of course, I've already got alert thanks to you set at $100.27 in case it does come down to that level on ORCL.
Beat talking about in the chat, could we ever get 24-hour trading? Would you guys like that?
I mean, we do in terms of the ETF. Matter of fact, I called my broker and I said, hey, I'm sure you guys know there's this new thing. Are you participating in it? And they said, no, we're not. So I'm interested in it, yes, because I'm a degenerate and I would love to go ahead and try to lose some money at midnight.
I'm not going to. I deal with enough stress during the regular day.
Right? I'm with you, Ryan.
I will say though, watching the futures when there's some type of macro event,
Yeah,
like an election or something like
It'd
that,
be fun.
I'll definitely do that. But I often don't trade it because I just don't have an edge. I don't want to donate.
I remember when Trump was president, everything would, things would happen all the time. But I remember when it was reported that Trump got COVID, and obviously futures went ahead and, just wrecked on down. And I was like, man, I wish I was futures trading because there were just beautiful setups all around. Yeah. So I agree with you. But by the way, ORCL is just ripping. So nice call, wherever that was. I would not want stocks to be trading 24/5 as we're about to open here in a second.
There we go.
All right, let me go ahead and take a look at Chewy. Make sure I don't get screwed on this. Good idea. Ooh, Chewy got all my fills. Good God. Wait, what?
What?
It just spiked up like a buck, and I just got filled on my cells. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to let the rest ride. You can see on my screen, I got a spike up blessing.
That's called the Wall Street blessing right there.
Yeah, thank you to Joe Billy 75 to the moon for helping me out, I guess.
You guess. All right, let's flip over to the scanner and see what we got.
We got moving off the open. I'm seeing Bed Bath. I'm seeing Peloton.
Long
on the
INTC.
upside. Robinhood on the downside.
$52 sell on Chewy. I'm out. Woo!
Nice.
I got to do more pre-market trading. That was fun.
That was fun, he says.
Yeah, you got a little bit of a benefit there with Wall Street Bets. I'm sure they were really ready for the open there.
I mean, of course, when you hear me talking about the levels, of course you're going to listen to me and buy. I'm pumping out here. Chewy, by the way, now approaching $53 and breaking $53.
How about Apple? Zunaid, are you still in those calls you shouted out the other day?
Yeah, Apple. I am not in those calls just the way that I trade. But yeah, I don't know what they're up. I don't know if you're still holding on. Maybe you already have it there.
Sure am.
How are they looking?
They're looking good here. I'm actually up on those calls. Let's see. I got a 257 average. So just for clarity here, Zunaid the other day spotted a massive options trade in the Apple March 200 call.
Just added to INTC.
Say again.
I'm in INTC.
something like 30,000 contracts. So I went ahead and followed him, and I got a 257 average, current price 340 on those calls. Sorry, Mitch, go ahead with the trade.
Yeah, so I got I'm in Intel guys here long at 50.90s. So let's see what happens here. Looking for a nice little push here above 51.05. Let's see if we get that push. Don't want it to come back below VWAP here. Want it to keep pushing out through 51.
Let's see what's going on with this.
So ASO calls. So here's going to be a lesson for you. Let's bring this up here.
Got you. You're up, bro.
I'm probably going to end up taking a loss on this, even though it worked. One of the reasons why you should never really, but I know Zunaid does these intraday when he buys YOLO, or when he buys calls on expiry for YOLO purposes. I have a 45 call that's expiring today, and it's down right now. It's actually down from yesterday's close. And the reason is because it's going to expire later today. If I had bought next week's, this would probably be a 40-50% gain. But because I bought this week's, I'm probably going to end up taking a loss on this. This is exactly why, especially when you're holding it for a binary event like that, give yourself some time, because that premium is going to get destroyed. Got crushed here right out the open. Unless this thing bounces, this is probably just going to be a loss for me.
Yeah, I got to do better. I'll be honest. I do not know much at all about the Greeks in options, right? I know like Theta, I know a little bit of Delta, and obviously I know IV, which I don't think that's a Greek.
Bid stepping up in Intel, looking good.
But you can show your chart in a second, actually, while you want to pull it up. But yeah, I got to do a better job of learning that, Ryan, because I'm sure I can get better positioning in my contracts.
Well, the issue here is, Zunaid, when you're doing it intraday, you're capitalized on the. It's a little bit different, but there's still a process here that you need to follow. And I mean, like, again, I paid what did I pay? I paid 135 for these calls, and currently the ask is 145. It's 80. It's way too loud, guys.
Sorry, yeah, that music is
Sorry.
maybe just turn it off just to.
Sorry.
All right, guys, order out to sell some at 51.10s here in Intel. Let's see if we get it.
Good, yeah, and good call, Matty. Good. IV isn't a Greek. I said IV. Zunaid said a Greek. That's not what we were.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said I don't think IV is a Greek. Matter of fact, IV is supposed to mean intrinsic value, but now other people
Greeks?
see it as that.
I got my study guide open, man. I got you guys.
When do you take your test?
Tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Well, shoot. Good luck to you, man.
Yeah, man. That's why I shouldn't be here, but I'm here for you guys.
Oh, look at Mitch over here.
All right, so here you go. The Greeks, right? We want to know about the Greeks. The Greeks, Delta, Gamma, Vega, Theta, and the one that most people forget. Wow.
There you go. It's Vega. That's what it is. I knew there was something. It's not IV. It's called
Measures
Vega.
the risk from changes in implied volatility. Higher volatility means options more expensive, since there's a greater chance that the underlying security price will move above the strike price for a call, or below the strike price for a put. So essentially, there's two ways of looking at it, right? I mean, you want to be looking at Gamma and Vega and Theta. Theta is, of course, the time value decay, which is always going to be a negative number because it only moves in one direction, always. You want to look at the Gamma, which is going to tell you the rate of change in Delta. It essentially is the second derivative of price, and what it does is it shows you the values are the highest for at the money options and the smallest for those far or out of the money options. Then you can look, of course, at the delta, which is going to give you the price changes of a 1 point move in the underlining. So its values is going to always range between 0 and 1 for calls, or -1 and 0 for puts.
Nice.
There you go. Little options life.
Someone in the chat mentioning RSLS go. Man, it's up like 6% to $2 stock. Where is it going?
That was
Come
like
on.
Walmart being up 0.9%. It's like, come on, man.
I'm like, where is it going? Because I also got a buddy that is invested in RSLS, and obviously he's at a loss. So I was like, oh, maybe if it's fine, I could text him and be like, yo, what are you doing with that position? But I don't think texting him when he's up 1% today, when he's down like 70 overall, is going to do anything. By the way, Chewy still got that $2. Matter of fact, Chewy went all the way up. Matter of fact, I'll pull up the 1 minute here. So
Yeah, go ahead.
look at that nice move. I mean, this.
I stop out right here of Intel.
All right, just yell it out if you do. $50 balance. We've talked about it all morning long. We've talked about whole numbers, and just look at that beautiful pop all the way to 73, almost 73.50. I am going to go ahead and stop out if this breaks below VWAP for my final remaining shares. Remember, I went ahead and sold some at 50.75, then I sold some at 50.90, then the rest I sold at 51.50. So the last quarter that I have left, I will be out if it goes ahead and breaks and closes the 1 minute below the VWAP that I have here. Let's just call it below 51.75 for those of you that are listening and not watching. And the rest, we'll just let it ride, see what happens with it.
I want to call it AMC at $28 right now. Your recent low from I want to say it was Friday a week ago was $25.31. You fall below $25.31, you're at a 6-month low in AMC. We are $3 away from that right now. Just keep it
and minute chart, Spence, to your point there, the minute chart out of the open looks absolutely horrific. I'm on the 5-minute chart to look at that. In fact, this is what I'm going to do here. I'm actually going to draw a horizontal line right at that bottom so we can continue to watch this today. I mean, this is just the sellers are in complete control today. If you're playing AMC to the long side, I'm sorry.
It's tough out there.
It is.
You know what we were saying this morning?
Pushing up through 20. Nice.
There are so many stocks this year that were up a gajillion last year and are getting punished this year. A lot of growth names are down 50, 60, 70%. I think
BFRI spiking.
All right, just to add it on Intel, going to hold towards 73 on the downside.
We all know that in a couple of years, some of these beaten down stocks are going to come back and look like amazing buys. Of course, we don't know which ones they're going to be, and there are so many of them that are just punished, right? DraftKings,
Hopefully, Genie.
DraftKings, Genie for Mitch, Zilla, Peloton for Joel. There's so many that are just gone down, straight down all year. It's really tough. It's hard to know who is going to come back and who is not. That's why I would much rather buy a stock after a period of sideways action, after it stops going down for a period of a month or 2 months, as opposed to trying to just call the bottom and hope.
All right, how's the Qs doing here? There you go, a little push there. How's Tesla? Tesla now trying to catch a bounce there. Let's see if it gets strong through that 110 area. We want to see volume increase when we get up in this area. Look for a nice volume bar expansion there. We'll see if we get that push there in Tesla.
BFR, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
you have halt potential here, so we can check it. We can check in on it later, but this thing's running like crazy, breaking through some of the levels that we've identified days before. Looks like it might halt up here if it keeps going.
Yeah, Matty Ice. I saw that too, Matty Ice. You guys see Ford today?
Yep.
Oh wow.
Just had it up.
Hey, that's the rule of 3, baby.
It's Pulpit Daily.
All right.
It's in that consolidation. 2050 is the
Stop that in Intel, guys. $44 loss.
The problem is now is you're at the high end of this range. So the high end of the range is about 2070, 50 cents off that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only way I see to play this one is just a breakout at this point because you are at the high end, like you said.
That right, Zunaid. Nice call.
So set an alert maybe around 2040 just so you can keep eyes on it for the break of 2050. By the way, that's something I've learned is when I set alerts, I stop setting them at the breakout point because then by the time I get the alert, I look at it, I've missed the train.
100%. You got to at least set it like 20 cents below that or something. You want to come to the stock when it gets momentum. Right?
Yeah.
So, and setting alerts is an important thing, right, Zunaid? I mean, you're not always going to be able to keep your eyes on all the stocks out there, guys. And if you guys don't know, on Benzinga, you can set alerts on your watch list. Go to .com. You don't even need to be a pro member for that.
You don't? It's true.
No, I mean, if you look at my chart here, if you want to pull it up, these are all the alerts that I use and have. You can see how many are still active. You can see how many I've used in the past. Matter of fact, the Chewy one, the only way I knew that, hey, I should go ahead and buy here is because of the alert. So no, they absolutely do help Chewy coming back down a little bit. Let me go ahead and take a look at Apple and see what that's doing.
Apple
All
taking a little bit of a break from its push out of the open here. I got it up on my screen.
Yeah, can't seem to get over that 176.50 level.
That was only the first attempt today. That'll have another.
Well, yesterday it tried it like 3 times.
I see what's going on here. The old rope-a-dope on the Qs. Look at that. You think inflation's good for us? Then they start doing this to you. Be careful out there, guys in tech.
And gals.
They're flipping a little bit
BFRI
there.
continuing its push, by the way.
BFRI. You know which one moved yesterday that I wanted to trade that I completely missed it when it's completely halted out the gates was ISPG or was it?
Is it ISIG?
Yeah, ISIG. There you go. I was watching it. I had alerts set and I completely missed my alerts. That thing was a freaking monster yesterday. The Qs, man. Watching Tesla.
BFRI, more highs, more size at 52. Gotta think this thing is going to halt eventually. Up there, oh man, they smoked 50.
Trying to get short some Tesla here. Trying to get short Tesla. Need a bounce though to 1,000.
All right, so E-Trade lets you do something kind of really cool. I'm sure other brokers do too, but I just went ahead and set a buy alert on NVIDIA. So I told the broker if NVIDIA touches $300.90 to go ahead and buy the $300 calls at market price. So I have no idea what my fill will be. I don't know any of that, but we'll see if that happens. But for now, to trade it and be a risky with it, I am going to go ahead and grab some 305 calls for about $3. I'm probably going to risk about 50% of this options contract. So just an FYI, because I do expect a little bit more of a pullback, but we'll see what happens here.
And real quick on BFRI, we're actually due for a pull here, right? We're due for this to come in a little bit here. Would love to see it consolidate above $6 for another return attempt at that 660 high. But this thing has pretty much been an absolute monster out of the gate on these 1 minute sticks. These volume sticks are incredible. We're definitely due for a pullback, so don't try to be a hero right here. I see Syed trade BFRI or at minimum watching.
Looking for pullbacks in the SARC. SARC, I said it, guys. Seen some of these growth names really start cracking. Roku, look at that crack down, still going down there. Let me take a look at Zoom down today also. Teladoc, let's take a look at that, down also. So yeah, I might look at SARK for long, and that would be pretty much shorting ARKK.
Keeping an eye on so many things right now. Trying to follow the chat. Trying to look at my charts. Trying to look at my movers tool. My
Got a lot of stuff going on.
What's going on with
big crackdown in Tesla, guys? Tesla's on the bear side.
Yep.
Watch out, Asana. Watch out, Asana. We had that run up for a couple days here. It got so punished off its earnings report. Where's my chart? I'm seeing it down 5% in the last couple of minutes here. ASAN.
All right. Rising trend line in Apple might break here hard to the downside. I'm watching it. I'm not going to go short unless it cracks really hard to the 175.50 here. If it holds VWAP, it's still bullish. Don't short bullish charts. So I'm going to wait for it to crack and look for the pullback.
So we've fallen below the 200-day on Asana, probably an important level there. So I would, right now the 200 days at 73, we're at 71. I if I was long Asana, I would be nervous. I'd be wanting to get out. If you bought Asana at any point in the last week, I'd probably ring the register if you haven't already.
Yeah.
This was one of those stocks. We talked about these a lot. We talked about a lot of these high-flying growth tech stocks that are going to get cut in half and then maybe in half again. Asana's one of them. We have 140 highs here. We are chilling at 70. I completely agree with you, Spencer. Be careful. If this is what you're trading to the long side, be careful. There's absolutely looks like there's more.
Well, we just went up from 63 to 83 in 4 days, right? So we just had a huge run.
And so if you have it, Maybe book it.
If you have it, I would book it if it were me.
Yeah,
Twitter
and then
pounding lows, Square pounding lows. VIX looking like that might test 20.
look at that
Apple
Roku
on its
trade.
corrective move after its second attempt at breaking 176.50.
Short a really tiny amount there of Apple. Told you guys if it started cracking hard, I was going to start getting short. Now I want to add on pops up here to the VWAP. We'll see if you can get these pop on ups. Monday looks like a good short also. Just call that out there. But Apple really a hard rejection there from the 176 there.
Yeah.
So that's really, I'll show you guys what I'm trading off of. Really, it's this. So this trend line, I told you guys, I wanted to see a hard crack. Now we don't want to see it back above 176. We can let it come to VWAP, and I'm going to look to add there and crack it back down there.
And Mitch, one of the other things you're getting that's helping this trade is that the market is pulling in the direction for this trade, right? So take a look at the SPY, take a look at the QQQ. They're all kind of reversing here. But a little too early to say if we're going to continue trading down or if this is just a corrective move off that push out of the open. We'll wait and see, but it's absolutely helping your trade right now.
Yep. Washout continued here. It's okay. I have a very tiny starter position right now, but looking for it to come back to VWAP so I could actually drop the size.
You got the Qs that are bouncing out of the 395 level right now.
Yeah, that's what we want to see, at least from my side. I would want to see the Qs wipe out. It was a fake out maybe out the gates here, and then we just get crushed. I wouldn't want to see it back above 397, just the Qs.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting a lot of whipsaw action on these tech names here. By the way, BFRI did do its poll. We came back in. Looks like we stopped at about 586. Look to be testing the 6 line again in BFRI. We'll see if that continues up. Bitcoin, a little bit of a pullback. Spence, did you have a Bitcoin update plan for today? I don't want to steal your thunder.
Yeah, I do. You know what? That's a good idea.
Get that sponsor content, baby.
Let's do that. Where's my heat map, though? I'm going to find it. There it is. All right, let's pull up my crypto heat map and let's do our first crypto update of the day.
Whew, that test, Apple went so fast off of the VWAP. I was able to get some there at 77s, but it went so fast, guys. I'll put it up here. I'm looking at the top chart. It touched VWAP and went really quickly down there.
All right, that's annoying. All right. Well, anyway, heat map. Let's go. There it is. Mixed. Some red, some green. Looking like Christmas out here.
Yep.
The reason that I mentioned that was we were hovering right around the 50,000 handle. And in the last couple of minutes here, we pulled back down to 48.5. So pretty decent sized volume stick on that futures, but definitely pulling here on Bitcoin. Still continuing to pull on Apple here.
Looking good here in the Apple trade.
As a reminder, if you want free Bitcoin, literally free Bitcoin, all you got to do is download the Voyager app, enter the promo code ZING, Z-I-N-G, that guy up on the screen. Fund your account with $100 and make your first trade. Voyager will give you $50 in Bitcoin for absolutely free.
All right, let's see the Qs. If the Qs take out the lows right now, it'll look good. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah.
This is going to be the last trade of the day for me today, guys. I got to go study, but I got about 10 minutes left. Let's see if this trade can knock down and we can make some money.
You're hoping for a break at 395?
Yes, on the downside. But that's just because I'm trading short right now.
IINN, probably going to halt here. Huge pop off the bottom. Oops.
Ooh, be careful with that one. I'll give you guys a little bit of insight. Warrior Trading is trading that one. Just
there
be
you go.
Careful.
Okay, it's halted at 523.
Yeah, that's that Ross Cameron for you.
Okay, now I had a high yesterday at 624, so we're currently at 523. Pretty decent range there if this momentum continues. Now you're
Apple squeezing here, guys.
Chat room behind it, so just understand what you're trading. Apple looking to bounce right here.
Mm-hmm.
Same with
don't want to see it close above 176. Got about 10 seconds left on this candle. Don't want to see it close above 176. All right, next minute candle starting here. About to get out.
Is it your Q's trade?
No, Apple. I'm sorry. Too many charts here. Sorry.
Don't I know?
Yeah, a lot going on.
Yeah, a lot going on out there, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm just going to call it the exit real quick. NVIDIA, the calls, you're up about 25%. I am going to go ahead and close 3/4 of it. So I am out of NVIDIA. Got them at $3, out at $3.60.
There you go. At
Shout out to
least rejection of 176 hold. Go ahead, Ryan.
I was just going to say, shout out to HROD AVCT, also ripping here. We sold off a little bit, bounced off 210, currently printing 260. So nice little run there at AVCT. I am not in that. H-Troy, if you're in that, good trade. Simon is asking, what did Mitch mean when he said Ross Cameron for you? We're talking about a stock that's making a big outsized move now into a halt. So Mitch is telling me that he knows of a room that has a following that's on that this morning. And that's a good data point for me, right? I know that there are people actively going after that, and you know, you can adjust your trading plan accordingly. Or if you're
faking me out there, it got close there to above 176. My hand was on the trigger. We'll see if it gets above that 176. It keeps rejecting there. That's a good sign. As long as it can't get a close above there, I'm okay with the trade still.
James Prince.
Nice job,
James. Nice job, James. How was
nice job.
Very
There
nice.
you go, James.
Nice job.
You see, you can make money on the downside.
Nice job. Nice job.
All those people that hate shorts, hey, I say you start looking at them at least.
Yeah, no, that's something that we discussed last couple. Right before the small cap conference, right? Maybe it was last week. I can't remember. Shorting definitely gonna be doing that. Gonna be kind of scaling into that. I'm actually not going to short. I'm going to use puts to play to the downside, but I'm going to start taking a look at that.
All right, guys. So we've touched that 176 3 times. So right now, what I did was I want to make sure no matter what, if it gets above 176.10, I'm out. So I just put the stop there. If I get out, I get out. Now my hands are off the trade, and I don't even have to really watch this. It's either just going to flush down for me or stop me out in this probably next candle.
All right. So Martin asked a question on AMC. And this kind of goes for everyone and every stock. We can't tell you when to buy or when to sell. We just can't. Okay.
None of us are licensed. Let's just be very frank about it. We're not licensed financial advisors.
A, we're not licensed, so like there's some legal risk for us there. But B, even if we were licensed, we're not you. We're not you. Right? We don't know you. We don't know how much risk you can take, how much pain you can take. The only thing that we can say is if you're owning any stock, really any stock or any investment at all, you got to go into it with some kind of a plan. Something like if it goes up X percent or X dollars, I'm out. Or I'm buying more. If it goes down X percent or X dollars, I'm out or I'm buying more.
Boom.
You got to at least like spend a second to think about it, right? Because otherwise you end up in a situation where you're up huge or you're down huge. And you have no idea what you're doing. And you're asking people for advice. And like, we can't really give you the answers because we're not you.
Spencer, I think. Sorry.
Boom.
Zunaid,
Knock down an apple. Knock down.
You got to just have some, whether it's like a risk, like a cutoff, you know, like I'm not going to lose more than 20%. I'm not going to lose more than $20. Whatever, right? Like you got to just have some rules and then follow the rules. That's the other thing. But like, you have to. That's how you survive.
And Spencer, one of the things that I tell the people all the time is that no one is going to care more about your money than you are.
Yeah.
So being able to understand your own risk tolerance, being able to, understand what's affecting your investments, what your goals are, what you're trying to achieve, that's going to be more important than what anyone on the internet or TV is going to tell you. That's the reality.
Boom. There you go. Through 175s. Can we get through it? If we get through 175, I'll take half off.
Yes, Super SPAC man. That is what they said. I've seen some competing Apple headlines in the last week. Some bullish, some bearish. It's all noise.
Who's gonna win?
I don't know.
Q's still trying to break that 395. I'm going to try to take a scalp play. Went in and grabbed the Q's 398 calls. I played about 41 cents. I'm going to try to exit these at least at 49 cents and then at 57 cents and then scare it. Okay, so there is the first fill. But basically, I'm just playing the bounce of 395. Break at 395, I'm out.
Buy the dippers stepping up there in Apple. How can I kind of tell that buy the dippers are there? Because there's an hourly level on Apple that's right off that support of 175. And you start seeing big sizing jump up there. Not like little sizing. We're not talking 100 shares. I saw 2 or 3 orders there in the 3,000s. So 3,000 shares of Apple, we all know. You got to take a substantial trade there if you're taking 3,000 shares.
Indeed. Real quick comment here from Ronan. Why do you guys worry about being stopped out? Are you trading with leverage? So a couple of things there. None of us are worried about that. One of the things that we're discussing is we're trying to teach and show discipline and process on this show. It's not necessarily about giving. It's not necessarily about giving picks. So
I have to step off for like 2 minutes, but I'll be right back. All right.
No worries.
All good.
All right, guys, just close some of that Apple trade there. I had that circle there for my target. As soon as it came into that circle, I took half of it off. Now we're going to leave the rest at the break-even price point. We're going to look for a further breakdown. The really thing that you watch now is actually I watch the Qs because I want the Qs to break down. If they don't continue breaking down or if it goes back to VWAP, I might even get out of the trade. I want to see a wash out of the Qs to continue the Apple trade on the downside. Tesla probably is probably ugly too. Still hanging out there a little bit.
Yeah, Tesla rejected off of VWAP, as did Nvidia.
What about AMD that was looking really strong? There you go. Nice VWAP fade. This is we talk about a lot of the times a VWAP bounce trade to the upside. This is the same trade, but to the downside. So you look for that extension away from the major pattern, a pull back to the VWAP. You short there, looking always to have your stop out at the next resistance. It could have been 140 or 140.02, and you're shorting there at 139.35, and you're looking for it to come right back down to the low of the day. I usually take half profit right here. I'll take half profit at the low of the day, and then I'll look for it to just flush through.
Yeah, and by the way, I apologize, Chad, if it seemed like I was front-running those Qs calls. It's just a little tough when there's a delay, and obviously we've got other traders as well. So apologize if it seemed like we were trying to front-run there, but I hope you understand why we took that trade. It was just a 395 level whole number. It bounced off of there in the previous 10 minute. It's had trouble kind of breaking it through, and as soon as it got to that 395, able to grab some calls and play to the upside. Still have a fourth of my position left that I'm going to kind of use, but to continue letting it ride until and unless it breaks 395. So we'll see what happens. But so far, that 395 level on Qs has held very, very well. Just a matter of seeing it at least try and test VWAP would be great, because then those calls will go to at least 60 cents, I believe, but we'll see.
No, Zunaid, you're not allowed to trade against me.
You said you were out.
A half.
Oh, well, at least you have half profit. As do I. We'll see who wins the rest.
I like half profits.
I would join you on the trade if it broke the 395. And by the way, it looks like Moderna. Okay, so I don't have my screen up. Sorry.
Got a couple of trades going on. You're up, bro. Here you go.
So real quick, Qs. I'll let this ride. We'll see what happens.
Right,
Moderna.
Guys, just really quickly, I want to give my price for Apple because I have had some ads. 175.75. So that's the break even for the upside. And guess where that is? At least for me, that's right on the VWAP. So I'll be looking for that. Of course, remember what I looked at. Go back to the Qs if you want. Back to VWAP right there, right? So that's a good sign for Zunaid. Yep. Warning sign for me.
Yeah. And it's one of those, it's a warning sign for you. For me, it's also a take profit sign, right? Because these calls can easily just go away. So for matter of fact, they just went from a minute ago, they were about 62 cents and now they're about 53 cents. So, it can go either way. It's not that they're trying to break above. But the reason I wanted to bring up mRNA, I had an alert set at 450 in case I wanted to go ahead and fade this one. So if you want to go short Moderna, this could be a great spot. It's had a nice little perk up, 250 level, hold number, not a bad spot if you want to go short. Obviously going to be risky like anything else in life. I'm going to go ahead and stay away because I'm having a lot of great profits on the other side. So I will stay away from this one. but I did get the alert, so I want to give what I could have done.
Couple of things real quick. IINN open, gapped up, pulling back here a little bit, but it is open. And ticker BZ, Ron, I was watching that too while these guys were talking. Ticker BZ going absolutely ballistic here, up $4 off of the low, continues to push here. This is not Benzinga. Unfortunately, it'd be a great ticker for us if we were public, but this is Kanzun, unfamiliar with the company itself, but really, really strong here. Looks like a pretty thin trader. So if you do this, please be careful.
You've got a couple of tickers, NVIDIA and as well as Tesla, I believe, that are kind of having those wicks that tried to break the lows of the day but couldn't, but now they're coming up testing VWAP. So keep an eye on it. If you want to go short, not a bad spot. Break above VWAP, you go ahead and stop out. Not a bad spot. Oh, and I was going to mention another stock. I totally forgot. Sorry, too many things going on. Tesla as well. Same thing. Tried to go ahead and break that level. Came right back on up. But again, if it breaks that 980, bye-bye.
AVCT new highs. Good call, Roy.
I want to see a flush down back to the Q's lows here. I might add on Apple.
I think this might be the first time we've had opposite
positions.
Yeah. Well, it's not even exact. I love we can still win because you're short
would have been like, why are you doing that?
Well, so we can technically both win because you're short Apple. I'm long QQQs. Obviously, there's a lot of synergy there.
I'm long Apple. I'm longer for a longer duration than Mitch.
Well, you're longer dated. So we could all win technically.
Yep.
Technically.
And notice how when Mitch is updating, and I almost said cheerleading, but I didn't want to give it that connotation because there's nothing wrong with what Mitch was doing. He was announcing his trade. Notice how he was doing that and how it's the opposite of the trade that I'm in. I didn't go after him. I didn't get all flustered and get mad at him. That solves absolutely nothing. And as Zunaid is saying, in a lot of cases, you have to trade your own plan. And in a lot of cases, those both trades can win.
Saw a little weakness from that 175.50. We might try it again, but I don't want to see it above that 175.50 now here for Apple. I'll put up the Apple. Look at Q's starting to test stack back down. That's exactly what I wanted to see. So I saw this rejection from the 175.45 that was the prior support. So now I want to see it just completely not close above 175.50, and I can try to take this down. I just added my shares back that I took the profits on, and I brought my average cost to 175.60. So yeah, that brings me a little bit down, but I'm going to break even at the rest and gives me an opportunity for, if it flushes here, I'm going to make double the profits.
And real quick, Ross, we really appreciate that. That's a really nice comment for the guys who work very hard to try and make this the best show for you guys out there. We're also incredibly receptive of feedback. So if you have ideas on how we can make this even better, please tell us.
Guys, all yesterday, I took a whole page of things that I'm adding to live trading. So get ready, guys. There's going to be a lot more coming at you guys.
Mitch, let's go, Mitch.
There's one thing I'm doing is I'm going to bring value to you guys, whether that may be traders coming on, whether that's us taking a look at analysts, whether that's us calling out maybe big trades, block trades that are coming out. Get ready, guys. We're going to have it all for you right here on live trading with Benzinga Pro.
And real quick, Super SPAC Man, Ryan, what's your target on Apple? Right now, my target on Apple is always higher. I believe this is the strongest stock in the stock market. I am a long-term investor in it, full disclosure. As for right now, my target's going to be 200. Those are the calls that I bought for my trade. It's also the round number. I think it has a great holiday season. I'm looking for 200.
Don't want to see 50s close here.
Travis is asking what you're studying for. The CMT exam is what Mitch is studying.
Yeah, I need to get the hell out of here. I already got in trouble.
All right.
The fiance is like, what the fuck are you doing trading?
By the way, I'm surprised none of us have looked at Microsoft. I mean, good God. I've got it on my chart here. I'm not in the trade. I missed this one completely, but just a nice move there. Saw a little bit of consolidation after it perked up a bit, and then it just went ahead and broke out, and it's continuing. This is a 10-minute, by the way. Had a little flag there.
Hand on the trigger.
Here, I'll go ahead and pull up your Apple on my right. So this is it. This is Zunaid versus Mitch. This is
out.
All right.
Still got green on the name, but I'm out.
Let me ask you this. Why did you get out, just so the viewers can know, before it went above VWAP? Or at least what I have in terms of VWAP.
Yeah, because so this is what I was looking at, guys, and I'll try to do it out of 5 minutes so you guys can see a little bit better here. So this support here, when we broke down, because we were in kind of this little uptrending 1 minute pattern, we broke that support, right? And that was the support right here at 175.45. And when we flushed through there, we were bouncing off of it and using it as resistance. Then it almost became kind of an in-between between the bulls and the bear battle right here. When I actually saw this flush down below the 175.50. I added there, brought my average to 75.60s. And so I definitely didn't want it to get back through the VWAP. What we wanted to see is maybe a rejection of 50 one more time, and then it comes back down to that 175. If it gets above that and closes even in the 60s, now that battle between the bulls and the bears just got won. And then who won it? The bulls won it.
A lot of Microsoft calls, by the way, guys. Sorry.
I know. I do want to address. Zoltan just messaged me. I do want to address the headline that we just saw come through. Where's my Benzinga Pro? No, it's not even up on the screen. Come on, Spencer. Benzinga Pro.
The exclusive, the Playboy. Yeah.
No, not the Playboy. This headline here. I'm in our news feed here, and let me just highlight a couple of these. I'm going to search for SPY. These just came out. Okay, this is from Bloomberg just now. The Department of Justice is pursuing a broad probe into hedge fund short selling, aka manipulative hedge fund short selling, to be specific. This will probably make a lot of people very, very happy.
Yep.
A lot of people across the board, frankly, want to see this. Short sellers on their own are not inherently evil, but there is definitely a side of the short market that is manipulative and bad for stocks and bad for investors and bad for markets and companies. And there is a side to that market that exists only to make money, which is counterintuitive to a lot of other things here. So this is good news. I think a lot of people will applaud this headline today. What comes of it, who knows? But the DOJ looks like they're looking into it. You like to see that. The last thing that the market wants is manipulation, and we hope that this can help that.
Interestingly enough, no reaction to AMC off that headline. And while you were talking there, Apple calls went crazy. Mitch should come back real. I know obviously he's got to listen to his fiance and all that, but he should come back and with a microphone and then drop it real quick, because he sold right before Apple had that humongous push up. And now looks like it's going to try to take out highs here. So again, Zunaid, what were you saying about how we can all win on the same trade?
And so far it's
How
been
about
wonderful.
them apples, baby. Let's go.
So let's go and pull up my chart here. He went ahead and he sold half here. He took profits and then he stopped out on the rest. So he obviously killed it, stopped out right here before broke that VWAP all the way up. And for me, I went ahead and grabbed calls here. And obviously we're looking pretty at the moment. Already went ahead and took profits on majority of it. The rest, I'm going to hope to kind of at least have a ride up to 397.80s would be really nice. Ryan, we talked about Apple, and yesterday it tried to go ahead and break. It obviously poked through a little bit about the 367.70 area or so. So we'll see what Apple decides to do around this area now. If you want to go short, not a bad spot, just purely in terms of risk reward, because above this, you're out. But below this, you could go ahead and take profits near VWAP. Then you could go ahead and take profits near, 175.55 and then ride that baby all the way down. So however you believe.
And guys, pro tip here. If you're not happy with a price on one of your stocks, wait 15 minutes because it's going to be different.
That's certainly advice.
I mean, I don't know what else to tell you.
I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's certainly advice.
I mean, hey.
Can you imagine Ryan saying, if you can't breathe, just wait 5 seconds. It'll be more air for you to take in.
Breathing in stock prices not comparable, but I appreciate where your heart's at there, Zunaid. The reality is that, you know, what the point that I'm trying to make here is that it's probably going to be better for your trade if you don't have knee-jerk reactions to every little movement in price. Follow your plan. You should have a plan for every single trade. My plan for my Apple swing long is sound. I'm going to obey it. So when I'm watching Apple go up and get crushed here and someone else shorten it, that's not affecting it. The fact that the price is
100%.
going down isn't affecting my trade plan.
100%, 100%. And I'll go ahead and back you up and say this. When I started trading, I just wanted to be in the trade because I wanted to be in the trade. And I'll echo what you said in terms of you got to wait for your price because it is all about the risk reward, right? Like imagine if I wanted to go long Qs and I went long over here just because I wanted to be in the trade. Like, where is my risk reward? Where am I getting out? Where am I, taking profits? I would have no clue. So I waited for, my size and I waited for my price to come in at 395, which it did. And we went ahead and played it. So absolutely agree. Sometimes you just got to wait for your price to come into play and stop just trying to chase things.
Absolutely.
No question.
And I
about
learned
it.
that lesson the hard way, Zunaid.
Oh, yeah.
There were times where I too was trading just to trade. I call it boredom trading, right? And I was reacting to every little tick. I was chopping myself up, and eventually I had to learn my lesson.
Yeah.
But you're always going to learn better lessons from your losses. So I'm going to try to share as many of those here as I can.
Absolutely. Q's trying to, they are below VWAP now. We'll see what they do. Let's see what
AMC pounding lows now.
Pounding. Oh my goodness!
Really?
Yes, really. Pull it up.
Okay, 25.
I got it right here.
25 is your bogey. 25. You fall below that, you are at a 6-month low. You're at your lowest point since the squeeze was just starting to squeeze back in May.
Do you think that we get any type of bounce there, Spence, or do you think that level's fairly irrelevant in terms of
I actually think it's fairly irrelevant, but if I was how should I put this? If I was long, I would sort of be holding onto that as sort of my last breath here.
Mm-hmm.
And if I wanted to take a short, I would maybe wait to see. I could see a scenario where there's like some kind of resistance, some kind of a break there at 25, but it's more psychological than anything else. So in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it matters that much. No.
Gotcha. Thad Thadder says, my plan is to breathe. That's a good plan, Thad. I think you should keep that plan.
Hey, I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but I'm actually having a hard time on that front these past couple of days. I got my nose is like cement.
What a warrior. You're sick and you're still able to fight through and find a way to breathe.
Not only am I doing that, I was the only person in this office for like the first 2 hours today.
Wow.
That's not a surprise. I've shared before, when I go to Detroit, I will sometimes attempt to beat Spencer to the office, and I've never been successful. The one time I was successful was the time they told him he couldn't show up because he had COVID.
Yeah,
that was the one time, Spence. That's it.
Well, at least you get invited out to Detroit. All right. At least they pay for you to come visit and see your pretty face. All right.
Zunaid, I hereby invite you to Detroit.
Thank you, Spence. Thank you.
Sharon, we are sending the reimbursements.
Zunaid, I hereby invite you to the come on in, man. Come on in.
Look, Spencer, the only reason Spencer came into the office early today is because our new partners in Behringer are there, and the man is trying to get a raise. Let's all be honest here. Spencer's trying to get himself a nice Christmas raise.
I'm just trying to show up to work every day.
Shut up. No, you said you showed up 2 hours early.
No. I didn't say early. I say I was on time for me. I was on time for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
gotcha.
The Thinker, warrior versus worrier. The Thinker, this is an amazing comment because yesterday one of my friends and actually trading mentors, Jeremy Newsom, you folks may know him. Check him out if you haven't. He's awesome. He actually tweeted this yesterday, and I thought it was so awesome that I retweeted it. Now it's great to see it here in the chat. Absolutely. Be a warrior, not a worrier.
I like it. So I looked at the daily of AMC because, that's the type of person I am. I am like a little tempted to like nibble a few shares because I'm hoping that this bounce area right here, that I'm basically hoping it won't break below 25. But I'm not going to do it. The risk reward isn't worth it for me. But what I will do, and I have done, if you want to pull up my charts here real quick, is I have gone ahead and set up alert at $20.76 on AMC, because I will try to play that $20 bounce same way, same principle that we tried to play, or we did play successfully, the Chewy bounce off of the $50 level. And obviously you can see it worked out very well for us so far. By the way, Qs are pushing on up to 375s or 397. Excuse me.
Keep bouncing. Thad, that is mean AF, man. That not only is that mean, but that is inaccurate. And I will bet you, gentlemen's bet, that if you hung out with Spencer for 15 minutes outside of work, you would instantly know how awesome he is and how much fun it can be. So that is not.
Well, who's talking about it?
I've been told by some of my closest friends that I make a terrible first impression. So maybe not.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, my first impression of you was, hey, do you like working at Benzinga? And then we talked, and then here I am. So
yeah, that's true.
For what it's worth, great job.
By the way, bounce here on AMC. Zunaid, did you see that? Did you capture that? And guess what,
no,
guys?
I did not.
Apple through 176.50. Good night. That is down. So we took us 3 attempts today to get through it, but we did.
All right. So at 10:30, we're gonna have Matt Kolb on the show.
Yes.
If you don't know Matt Kolb, he was a one-time Benzinga employee. He's been at Benzinga, involved with Benzinga for almost the whole company's history. And he a few years ago, he left the company to basically become a full-time trader. And now he's just kind of a friend of the company, a friend of the program. And he comes back now and then and hangs out because he's been involved with the company so long. So he's here in the office today. We're going to bring Matt on. He's going to talk to us about end of year tax loss harvesting, what that is, how he's doing it. And that. So I am going to have to step away just to get him set up, and then I will come right back just to make sure Matt's all good to go. So I'll do that in a couple of minutes.
Can you throw one of our charts up before you disappear?
Yeah.
And I can handle that for you too, Zunaid.
Oh, perfect.
PTPI popping here while you guys were talking. This thing just absolute monster. I'm not in this one. Notice how we went all the way up to that 289 mark that we have identified here. That was not drawn today, right? That was drawn based off this level that goes all the way back. Looks like the first time this hits is March of earlier this year. So PTPI, big move here. Pulling in a little bit, not in this. Yeah, Thad, we're just joking around, man.
Yeah.
We're just joking around. No, I'm a pro at harvesting losses. Jonathan, you also have a really good sense of humor. Good stuff, my man.
Someone asked me the other day, they're like, dude, your tax bracket must be really high, because they're talking about me being a day trader. I swear to God, I looked dead and I was like, you can't pay taxes if you have no gains. And she was speechless. She didn't know what to say.
Yeah, people don't think about that, right? They hear trader, they're like, oh, you must have a Lambo. It's like, no, it's not that easy, folks.
Yeah, no, it's like, nah. Anyway, those QQQ calls that we went ahead and grabbed at 41 cents are now at $1. So you are up handsomely on those. Please, for the love of God, sell it, because you are now almost testing the highs of the day. So please close those out. I have 1/4 of a position left. I'm going to sell half of that 1/4 here just to lock in some gains, and I'm going to let the rest ride for a retest, possibly of 400. I don't know why I said it like that.
Nice bounce here on the markets. The only one that didn't, it looks like the NASDAQ actually broke above. Oh, nope. Never mind. Got the wrong chart pulled up. Sorry, folks.
Boo.
Well, no, it's because all right. So I can tell the story real quick. It's because TOS changed the ticker, right? The NASDAQ used to be comp in TOS, and now it's comp:GIDS, I believe. And so when I reloaded an older layout, I had comp in there, looked at the wrong chart at a glance. I corrected it though.
I've got this. So, something else I'm looking to learn, Ryan, is how to play patterns. I know it sounds silly, but usually all I play is whole numbers, flow, right? So in terms of options and scalps off of whole numbers, and also bull flags. But I'm slowly trying to learn different patterns and play those. By the way, Christian had a great suggestion of a book. I can't remember what it was. I can look at Slack, but I'm looking at Chewy here. Is this a relevant drawing that I have made on the right-hand side? Because I don't think it is.
Yeah, so what you're attempting to do is draw a triangle there. I mean, I think it's relevant. You did actually draw it, by the way. Notice that it is breaking out of that. So what you're actually doing there is you're highlighting the compression, right?
Right.
That first candle shows you a bigger range. The second candle shows you a slightly smaller range to the downside. The next candle is the opposite of that, slightly smaller range to the upside. So what you're doing is you're kind of isolating the compression there, knowing that Chewy is going to pop one direction out of that formation. Now, I don't know what direction you're attempting to play this in, but clearly
I'm just learning to draw it. I'm not in this position anymore whatsoever. I'm just learning to play it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Okay, let's put it this way then. I don't know that this drawing is enough to give you a play. How about that?
I like that.
You've identified the triangle. You've identified the fact that it's compressing and then it's going to break out of that at some point. But this doesn't give you any indication on whether it's going to be to the downside, to the upside, or what have you. So you as the trader then are going to have to fill in some of those gaps.
All right, fair enough. Voodoo, if you could, I like what you said. If you could DM me just that way I remember to go ahead and look at it, that would be wonderful, Voodoo. Someone else asked in the chat, name of the book, please. I will tell you the name of the book.
Yeah, Christian gave me that book as well, and I actually haven't looked at it. It's pretty short and it's pretty inexpensive. It can be used as kind of a reference.
It's got pictures.
Sorry. Did anyone answer this question? If not, I can do it.
What's the difference? Go ahead.
All right. So the QQQ, Toronto the Great, is the NASDAQ 100 ETF. It was the second ETF ever launched. It gives you exposure to the NASDAQ 100 index. The TQQQ gives you exposure to the QQQ, the same stocks, right? Same stocks and everything, same index, but magnified by 3 times. So the purpose of the TQQQ is to do whatever the QQQ does, but times 3 on any given day. And that last part is key, on any given day. So if today the QQQ ends up going up 2%, then the TQQQ should go up 6%. And if the QQQ goes down 1%, then the TQQQ should go down 3%. It's 3 times the daily performance of the QQQs over that one day. It does not mean that whatever the Qs do over a 1 week or 1 month or 1 year time frame, that the TQQQ automatically has to do 3 times that. Because if that were the case, then TQQQ would be $1 gajillion right now. But it's over any given day. It'll return 3 times the performance of the Qs. It's mostly a trading instrument. It's mostly used to hedge. If you're short, you want to hedge yourself with some extra bullish QQQ exposure. You can do that. It basically magnifies your exposure to the Qs by a factor of 3. Meant to be used mostly by professionals or experienced traders. Definitely not a buy and hold instrument. Definitely you do not want to buy and hold this because of the way the leverage works. It can do some really funky stuff overnight or from day to day or from week to week. So just that's what I'll say.
Simply put, those are trading vehicles, not investment vehicles. Don't get it twisted.
Do not buy and hold the TQQQ. It can do some really funky stuff.
Yeah. That book, by the way, is called Big Book of Chart Patterns. Is what it's called. Big Book of Chart Patterns is what he had sent me. I assume it's the same thing that you got, by the way. Ryan.
He actually he was showing me some of the pages on it.
Yeah, he did the same thing.
Yeah.
It looks like you got to like figure out the physical copy and stuff like that. But Apple update, please. Yes, my lord. Let's go ahead and see. Look at Apple. Well, would you? Okay, look, hand to God, we went ahead and drew this pretty little box well before, right? You saw it live. I didn't draw it just now. Why did I draw it? Well, because we had this breakout attempt yesterday, failed. So I said, okay, it's got to try to break out of here. So far, consolidating, not bad. But your Apple update, it's hanging out. It's trying to figure out what it wants to do. Because it's kind of in line with where it hung out yesterday. right
and
there.
then really
Talk him up.
quickly, I noticed that you just said, yes, my lord. Just so you're aware, I actually bought a plot of land in Scotland. So my official I am officially a lord now.
I remember you telling me this.
So I would appreciate it, since you addressed the member of chat like that. I'd appreciate it if you would address me as Lord Ryan henceforth going
I'll
forward.
tell you what, when we come back on Monday or whenever it is, I would like for you to go ahead and your title, your username, or whatever it is, have it be Lord Ryan instead of just Ryan and then your Twitter.
Okay, a few things happening in chat. Samith asked for news on Tesla. There's news on Tesla every single day. Okay, it's one of those companies that has news all the freaking time. The news from today, I guess, or overnight, was that their sales in China fell 9% in November compared to the same month last year. So there's your Tesla news of the day. Someone else asked about AMC. Yes, the CEO and the CFO sold a good chunk of shares on Tuesday per a filing that came out last night. You should rewind the show about an hour or so. We talked about that like an hour ago. But the CFO sold all of his stock, and the CEO sold about 3/4 of all of his stocks on Tuesday, though I'm sure they have more options somewhere in there that are not in the filing. Someone else asked about Costco. We've not talked about Costco today. They had earnings last night. This company always seems to beat on its earnings report. In fact, I'm going to go to a calendar on Benzinga Pro and just look at Costco's earnings history right now and just pull it up here and see. Okay, so they don't always beat. I'm looking at the green versus the red here on the screen. They don't always beat, but they usually beat on their earnings and their sales, and the stock always goes up anyway, is what it seems to do. So,
I mean, Spence, go pull Costco up there and look at the daily chart. I mean, it's just that there's like no pullbacks in this stock. It's very, very hard to actually be patient and wait and buy this stock on a pullback. It's just this is my favorite store. It's pretty much the only store I go to now. I absolutely love the company, but man, it's hard. I feel like I'm always chasing a green candle, and I don't want to do that.
Johnny Yoski is right. That you pay them for the right to shop there. It's freaking genius.
Yeah, well, when they give me lower prices than everywhere else, then yeah, and then they
True.
reward me for shopping there with money for free. Yeah,
I've got my executive membership.
Yes, sir. Executive's the only way to go, fellas.
Yeah, I've got the Costco Black Card.
Did you just get that so you could say you have a black card?
It's not metal though, so.
Oh, boo. Boo.
I don't know where it is. Here it is.
He lost his black card.
Proof.
Oh man.
Executive member. You can't even see it.
What a life we live, brother.
I believe.
Executive member. Boom. I go there like maybe once a month.
What a life we live.
Anyway. All right. It's 10:29.
Bring him on.
Matt Cole,
pros already.
Colby, you good? Thumbs up. All right, he's
Thumbs
good.
up if you're good.
I'm good.
Colby, what's up, man?
What's going on, guys?
How's it going, Cole?
What is up, pal?
It's going pretty good.
All right, loading up on Encigo right now. 1 sec.
Here's the funny thing that you said that. No, it's funny that you said that. Today, Cowen came out and said it was their best enterprise play due to the government, and I was going to talk about that.
How early were you on that one, Cole?
Well, we know about that, but I got it at about $1.50.
Not everyone knows. I'm going to tell them. So Matt Cole was pounding the table on this company, INSG and Seago. When, Matt? In like 2017?
Probably like 4 years ago, thinking that they were going to be the future of 5G. So as you can see, they're doing pretty well. Well, they were doing pretty well.
So Matt was pounding the table on this stock for probably like a solid 2 to 3 years. And at one point I just said, okay, I give in. I will buy 100 shares, which is what I did. And then that was not long. That was not too long before. Maybe it was like a year or so before COVID. I've sold my shares. I'm long gone out of this thing, but I made some money. So thank you, Matt Kolb. You ended up being right, at least for me. And
it was all because of Trump, actually.
He got Kolb got Jason Raznick into the stock. He got Luke Jacoby into the stock. He got me into the stock.
I traded this because of him, for sure.
And literally, it's all because of Trump. And I've never even mentioned that before. So the funny thing is, back in 2016 or 17, they were going to sell the business, the 5G business, for $50 million. And they tried to get it done for months. They were selling it to the Chinese. The first thing Trump did when he got into office would not allow any technology to get to the Chinese. And the reason why I did very well in life and everybody else is because of Trump's decision not to allow them to sell the 5G business to the Chinese.
I didn't know that. Tonight I learned.
Yeah, it's big.
Context is everything, folks.
Yes, it is. And because of that, Huawei, ZT, all of them got banned all across the world. And that's why Inseego is still getting share, picking up European clients, Asian clients, and this new infrastructure bill, their 5G technology will be front and center. So there was a big note today by Cowen. I'll send some stuff out of it later on today. But yeah, Inseego will be the play. And here's it's funny.
So you are still bullish, to be clear.
I was waiting for January to buy. Okay, and I'll tell you why.
Okay,
and because of the tax losses. So think about it. Anyone that bought at 20, they look at their account. I had a buddy today. He goes, "I never sold it." He's down. He's probably down a lot of money. So what happens is, and this is what I want to talk about, not just Inseego. Besides the top 5 stocks, everything pretty much has been bludgeoned to death. Yep. So you're going to see tax, especially on an up day. The reason why we gapped up and we came down is because anybody that needs tax losses, you want to sell into strength. You don't want to sell into weakness. Right. So today you're seeing that, and that even though Inseego on that report should be up a lot. What's it up? I don't see it.
You're up 4 cents today.
Yeah, it's up 4
cents.
Okay.
Today, based off that note, like everyone should be pounding the table based off of them taking advantage of next year. But because of tax losses, they see the note and they're able to sell into strength. And, but that's happening with all micro caps, small caps. Yep. And how I position. Okay. So how I personally position is I try to front run that. So I start any of my losers, I sell them in November so that I could figure out when I want to buy them in December. So anybody
talked about that on the show. Thank you.
Yes. So smart people do that. Institutions are waiting for retail to get blown out. And then they're going to go in. I don't know. It varies every year, right? And it depends on the news. Like we have Fed. So that's not usually part of the whole equation because the Fed has been easy the entire time. So we have to figure out. So everyone's like, when should I start buying? I don't know. Is it next week? Is it the following week? I know by Christmas, that's going to be done pretty much. There's going to be some, but institutions will step up at one point. They'll probably all collude together and move it up when they can.
Some of that selling in November, you're doing that with the intention of rebuying 30 days out to avoid the wash sale rule. In
correct.
Explain that. Explain the wash sale rule.
So you're not going to be able to take advantage of the tax loss if you sell it and then buy it back within 30 days. Boom. So let's say, and I'm not going to tell the stock, but I had I think it was like a $30,000 loss, 40. I don't know. It was huge. And as soon as the 30 days was up, I bought it back. I was waiting for that day, and I know there was an upcoming catalyst. So basically, that's how I positioned that one. Now, here's another situation. I'm long the stock. They have earnings next week. So I knew they were having earnings, so I didn't want to take the tax loss, and I'm going to ride it because I think earnings are going to be strong.
Yeah. Matt, I would love. We were talking earlier about like why you should always just have some kind of a plan or something before you get into something. You've had some big winners and some big losers.
Of course, everybody has. If they all have big winners,
right?
They wouldn't be on this show.
Talk about what it's like for you when you've been down huge in a stock. Inseego is actually a good example because I think at one point you were down huge.
I was down huge at one point. You have to have conviction. So yes. I'm not upset if I do the research and the stock market goes against me. So like right now, I know the stock is going to have an amazing 2022. It's a micro cap, and they have earnings next week. I speak with the company and, I do my research. And if the stock market doesn't accept it today, based off of my research 12 months from now, that is how I make decisions. So there's the trading portfolio. So there's 2 different things that I do. We're talking fundamentals. I have trades where I'll trade off of the news, be in 1 or 2 days. I don't like to talk about that on these shows because that's not how you build wealth. And you're going to get crushed. But think about this. Back in the day, I turned a $2,000 Inseego call position, just that position alone, into about $500,000. So I've never mentioned that before, but I'm just telling you the power of having conviction. So what I did is I haven't really traded options after that. I had a speculative position. I knew there was catalysts. The 2,000 turned into about 30 or 40. And then I took other money in and put it into the stock market, and then just took that and parlayed it, just holding equity because the stock went from $1.50 to 20. That's compound interest. That's how you make wealth. And I had a bunch of other positions. I'm just kind of talking about Inseego alone.
Yeah. It's easy to say that, of course. It's harder to say that when you're in the moment when you're down.
But no, but you can't think about when you're so like.
I know. I'm yes.
I mean, if you do the research, and 90% of the people that are traders will not do any research, they're very reactive. So what I do is very different than other traders. I am looking at trends. What is the trend, right? I mean, streaming is a huge trend this year. So Roku, obviously, like Roku was at $10-20 when I looked at it. I sold way too early, but I should have stuck with my guns. Right. So the toughest thing is to like when a stock gets overvalued, right? And then you want to sell it out, but you want to get into a trend before it's a trend, and just be very confident, and then buy back. Like, so for me, I don't just buy everything at once. I have a lot of cash. I still have half of my money in cash waiting for a huge dip like we saw the last week, and I deployed a ton of capital.
Wait, well, hold on though. And one thing I want to clarify is, Matt, you always know that when you buy something, you always know roughly how long you're going to hold it for, right? Like, if you're going to buy something, this is either a multi-year thing or maybe it's like a multi-week thing. You always know that, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. So the 5G play. Okay. So what happened with 5G? It got pushed out a year because of COVID. They had to worry about everything else besides building out 5G infrastructure. So instead of 2021 being the 5G year, now it was pushed to 2022, and with the Democrats pushing this insane $1 trillion deficits, that's going to help the 5G. A lot of that money is going to the 5G providers and the infrastructure. So it's not just Inseego, it's Dycom. They build the infrastructure. You got Netgear, which is Wi-Fi and 5G. You got, Avago today. I didn't see why they had great earnings, but I promise you it's most likely tied to 5G builds. I mean, they are a huge player there. NVIDIA wanted to buy NXPI for not XPI. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. ARM, because of their 5G technology. So 5G is the future. It's just delayed, and it's usually 10 to 12 year kind of runs, and we're in year one of a cycle, right? Streaming is the same thing. Streaming, we just started getting huge the last couple of years, and the next couple of years, streaming is going to be the future.
And so real quick here, I got to jump because my team is still shorthanded.
Come on, Ryan.
Broadcom up because of a trifecta, right? Increased guidance on the quality EPS reports, announced a $10 billion buyback, and raised the dividend. So you got all three.
You got trifecta there, but I'm sure the raising the guidance is tied to, because next year is the 5G builds. So like, especially like a lot of people don't want to buy the early 5G stuff. So like now the technology. Mobile World Congress is a big event, and Qualcomm is the main 5G chip provider. There's nobody else in the world besides Sequans. They're a microcap, and if Sequans can take share from Qualcomm, it's going to be the ultimate play. But they won't launch their 5G chip till I think end of 22. So we have some time to get into Sequans. But Qualcomm has a monopoly for the chips. So that's enterprise chips. So let's say your 5G fixed wireless, when you're sitting at home replacing your cable, your cell phones, anything 5G related, Qualcomm has a monopoly.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned the tax harvesting and things like that. What are your thoughts on like January effects, where pretty much folks try to go ahead and buy small cap stocks because now you've already taken losses, like you said, your strategy you utilize yourself. I think that's something that could help stocks that you talked about that are beaten down. Because I mean, the market's been helped up with Apple and
the top
and
five.
All of that, right?
It's so like everyone.
Do you believe in the January effects? You try to play off.
No. That's all I do is the January effect when stocks are down, right?
Yeah,
it's hard. Like if stocks are blazing hot, you're not going to have a lot of tax losses. Why would someone want to take a gain before, like short-term gains, especially if you're in a high tech? It's if you live in New York or California, you're paying 50%. I mean, that's insane for short-term gains. I mean, Spencer knows the East Coast. I think.
What?
Well, just with New York, the taxes in New York City. I mean, stay at the local. I mean, if you're in the highest tax bracket, you're paying 50+%. It's insane. So why would you take a short-term gain? You want to hold it, especially if you're 10 months. But if you have losses and you have gains early in the year, you're taking them. I mean, I've spoken with many people. Like people I thought would have never have sold these positions were selling for tax losses. Like I'm long and strong, and I talked to them. Oh, I actually took the loss. I'm going to buy it back in 30 days. These aren't retail. These are institutional traders telling me this. I'm like, and that's why stocks are down.
Matt, can you address this comment?
I got to bounce.
All right,
See you, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, hope to see you again pretty soon.
All right, smash the like for Ryan Faloona as always. Colby, you want to share some of your favorite plays? We've already discussed a few of them, but I know you have more. Your favorite 5G plays?
My speculative one is Sequence.
What's the ticker on that?
And I'm not even invested in it right now. I'm just watching it. SQNS.
Okay, so
So I mentioned that earlier.
All
So
right.
Qualcomm has the monopoly. The only other competition is Chinese. Okay, and it's a MediaTek. I think there's one other, a Huawei, obviously, but no one wants to use the Chinese technology because of spying. So Qualcomm has the monopoly. The only one that can take share is Sequence. So obviously, it's getting crushed because of tax losses. I'm going to buy this come January or closer to December because next year. They're not just 5G, they're Internet of Things. They're one of the top semiconductors for Internet of Things. And if you pull up a Vagos chart versus Sequence is the only semiconductor that hasn't really moved.
Well, let's take a look. See, let's zoom out. What do we got here? Whoa.
Yeah. And so that's because the Internet of Things and 5G is what they've staked their entire business on, hasn't really taken off. So Internet of Things started taking off this year. Okay, and then next year it's the 5G, and well, they won't have their 5G chip towards the end of the year unless they move it up. But they've acquired an Israeli team. I'm a big fan of this in the 5G space. Dycom, DY is another one.
Hold on a second. Let me get that chart up. So you said you don't own Sequence, but you're watching it. DY.
I'm staying liquid until closer to. Okay, so these are all names I'm going to buy.
Okay.
But like right now with the Fed next week. With tax losses, like, I can't step in front of that bus unless I know there's a catalyst. If there's a catalyst coming up, like an earnings report, I'll play the catalyst. But other than that, if it has nothing going on in the next 3 weeks, there's no way I'm stepping in front of institutional tax loss selling.
Okay,
and retail.
DY is another.
Yeah, I mean you can see the chart because they build the infrastructure. They're in the ground. They have the people. Anything you need, the Ericssons, the Nokias, AT, they all need this guy to build it out. So without that, it's not just it's cable too. So they do everything, and they're the 100-pound gorilla in the space. As you can see, unlike a lot of the other stocks, you're not going to see tax loss selling in this. So I mean, I was long this, took some profits, and I was an idiot. I should have held.
All right, fair enough. So any more on your list?
I'm getting constructive on Roku. I do, like I said, I like the streamers. Obviously, anybody in that space, energy. I think energy with the Bitcoin mining is that keeps going and getting adoption and other things. I mean, energy is going to be a good play. There's no way to. I mean, just you could buy an XLE or just a generic index. I don't know that space well enough, but so when I don't know the space well enough, I'll buy the index or I'll buy a double or triple. That's how I kind of position it. I'm trying to think. Okay, here's another one like eHealth. This thing's been absolutely bludgeoned. EHDH. This is one I'm going to buy next year. So they do.
Wasn't this a subject of a target of a short report?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay, I remember that.
Okay, so they've been crushed because they were a high flyer. And they do all the Medicare. So if you need Medicare, if you're 65, these are your guys. Okay, Benefit Technology, they got acquired. There's a lot of these. I can't remember the other 2 or 3 off the top of my head, but this space has been bludgeoned, and it's high growth because people are turning 65 a lot faster, and they need Medicare. And these guys are the play.
They're turning 65 faster than before?
You and I had the same thought.
It's no. You know what I'm
talking about. I get the sentiment. Yeah, we get the sentiment.
Demographics, buddy.
The way you said it. But we get what you mean, though.
I understand what you're saying, man. I'm giving you a hard time. All right.
I got one more.
Okay,
this is kind of a competitor to Benzinga.
Go.
MKTW. Market-wise, they have all the newsletters. These guys spit out a ton of cash flow. This thing is going to be a winner over the next couple of years, as long as people want to make money.
What about Nokia? Your thoughts on Nokia?
I like Nokia, but I mean, it's a meme stock, which I don't like to even be associated with.
Yeah.
So I can't. I loved it before it was a meme stock, and they have a lot of debt and a lot of problems. Ericsson's the big winner versus the two. Okay. Nokia has to catch up. They really messed up. So everyone likes it because the share price that's never a reason to own a stock. You always got to look at the outstanding shares. So that I want to tell everybody here, like when you're making a decision, the best way to make money is find stocks with the lowest floats, the smallest amount of outstanding shares that have a catalyst. And why is that? Spencer?
I don't know.
I just putting you on the spot.
Demand.
Yeah.
Supply and
There's
demand.
just not enough supply.
Yeah,
for you to
exactly.
go and get that demand. That's all it is.
If there's 100 million shares outstanding, it's going to take a lot of buying to move that stock. Okay.
So wait,
look at the Nokia shares outstanding.
So the float. Okay, here we go. Shares outstanding in
It's
Nokia. Hold on, I gotta scroll. 5 billion.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
That's a lot of shares.
Just
man.
look and okay. If you just look at the level 2, my man, you've got over here. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and put the. I can't share my chart just yet, but you've got approximately 464,000 shares at
every penny, probably.
Yeah. So it's like, you're going to need a whale to come in. So at $6.02, there's approximately 500,000 shares available on the ask.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got 90,000, 90,000 every single.
But the level 2 doesn't have the black boxes and some of the other things. So like, I mean,
of course,
market makers will jump in there. I get messed. I hate the market makers. They come in there and front run. So what I've been doing, especially on stocks, I'm putting, instead of you see the 6018, I do that all the time. I don't put 601. I would put in like 6012, 6013 in all my trades, so I can overstep the market maker if I want the stock.
Something else to consider on Nokia specifically, and actually this also applies to Ericsson, is their primary market is not the U.S. The primary.
Well,
market,
no, that's it. Really, I mean, it is. It's
it's global. No. I want to rephrase. Their primary stock market is not in the U.S.
Correct.
The stock trades over in Europe. That's the primary stock market for Nokia. The U.S. shares, NOK, are going to follow whatever happens overseas, and because we're behind them in terms of time, there's often some weird overnight. You see, there's gaps all over this chart, right? That's because it's primarily traded in Europe, not in the U.S. The U.S. is the secondary market of the two, so it will copy what happens overseas. There's an arbitrage there, and that's why you see some weird gaps on this chart. It can do some weird things overnight.
Yeah, I do got to play that. I do got to talk about.
What?
I just thought about it. Yatra, okay, YTRA, because you mentioned the overseas.
Is that the Amazon of Russia? No. What is Yatra?
This is the price line of India.
Oh, okay. I was not that far off.
Oh, I don't know about that.
You were pretty off.
So nobody knows this, and I am locked and loaded, okay, because of this. You mentioned Nokia, they're listed in multiple exchanges. So in America, they're not giving India stocks any credibility, zero. Okay. They said there's 3 publicly traded companies trading at 12 times EV to sales around. I don't know if it's 10, 14. It's insane. So Yatra is going to have more revenues than these companies trading at $1 billion plus market caps. Yet it trades around 120. I don't know. It's about 120 million here. So they're sick of it. No one's giving them credence in the United States. So they're going to raise capital in India. Okay, do this. This is all public. They're working on it. It'll be announced any day, any week. And when that happens, they're going to raise not at a 1.5 times, because the demand is going to be so high. They might raise it 4, 5, 6 times EV to sales. And so why is that important to me as a U.S. trader? So all the ARBs will see that, and they're going to bid the crap out of the stock. Okay. And if they don't do that, think about it. You raise money at 6 times EV to sales, but you're trading at 1 times here. What they're going to do is they're going to take out U.S. stock. They're going to do a buyback on the U.S. markets, retire my shares, then the U.S. stock flies. So this will be one of my top 22 plays. I pray it's raised at a 10 times multiple. It won't be, because they're going to look at the U.S. stock as but they're definitely going to raise it at a much higher value at a multiple, because Ease My Trip, Ixago, Make My Trip. I mean, they're all trading at insane valuations versus Yatra here in the United States. So this will happen any day. They've put a press release. This is happening in December. I'm going to know this tomorrow, a week, sometime in December. So I don't care about tax losses in this, because it has a catalyst. Remember, I said that I will get involved in a stock. I bought at 230, 240. I don't care. This thing's going much, much higher than my 240 price.
Okay.
What would you say is a downside? What risk
Oh, there's a huge risk.
would there be to this
I mean,
stock, and what
I
is
mean,
that?
it's
Since you talked
obvious.
about the upside,
I mean,
It's
is it just the
obvious.
fact that they don't do it?
It's $1.
No. There's no risk on the IPO. I mean, I guess there is, but it's already so far along.
You talked about the catalyst, right? So what's the risk?
The risk
on
is
that
COVID.
play on the catalyst.
No, on the catalyst, nothing. I mean, because they've made an announcement, they're in the process. I guess the risk is I mean, they can't get it through the Indian bureaucracy, which is being. I mean, it should have been done, but from everything I hear, when you talk, so what I do is I talk to management. You know, they're very confident it's going to go through, right? They can't be guaranteed, but I would put it at a 1%. At this point, all the work that's been done. Do you think investment bankers that are going to make a fee aren't going to get an IPO? Like unless the market conditions. But the risk is COVID.
Yeah,
I mean that is the risk because they are a travel play. But India is the best in the world at tackling COVID. They were the worst. Now they're the best. And there's all kinds of theories out there. I'm not going to go into them. Some of them are conspiracy theories, drugs used, but they've done a great job. I don't know how, why, but I mean, I looked at a week ago, 10,000 cases. Okay. Versus how many people in India? 1.3, 1.4. We have 350 here. So that's like 2,500 cases in America.
Yeah. It's probably the home remedies that my mom tells me to use whenever I break my ankle. That's probably what's working out for the folks over.
Well, whatever it is, will you find out? Because I want to share that with the rest of the world, and I have a big voice, as you could tell.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
You got a voice. I can attest to that. All right, there was a few more things in the chat. I want to. Matt, are you on Twitter? Miss Wartsoff wants to know.
MSUMAK is my Twitter handle.
Put it on screen.
Spartan Trader.
At MSUMAK.
Yep. And I'm very open via direct message. So just because I trade institutionally, I started as a retail trader. So I will help as many people as I can. Obviously, I can't spend all day, but if you have a question on a stock, I'll look into it and, we'll go from there.
All right. We've got about 7 minutes left here before we're going to end this show. So if you have any questions, drop them in now or forever hold your peace. I, of course, will be back on in about an hour from now. That's what I do. Let's do. Matt Salen says your profile needs to be updated. I don't know. Maybe they're referring to your Twitter.
Why?
I don't know. That's what chat says.
Can you let me know why?
Grab. Cole, you have thoughts on Grab? Or no?
I don't really know the name. Sorry.
The largest SPAC deal ever. It just went through a couple last week. What do they do? The Uber of is it Indonesia or is
okay.
Or not Uber? Is it the DoorDash of Malaysia? I'm pretty sure it's the DoorDash.
So I've always been bearish on this entire sector is because how are they going to make money? My buddy drove for DoorDash. I mean, they pay him so much money, and then the marketing costs. I mean, the only way they're going to make money is they put everybody out of business. I'm with you. I'm not a believer in this. That's why I don't know the name because I just hate the space.
Yeah, I'm not a believer in the entire delivery business model. So whether it's Grab, whether it's Dash, whether it's any of them, frankly.
Dash is in the United States, I use DoorDash all the time. I just don't know how they're gonna. I mean, if I think of anyone, I would pick DoorDash. I mean, like I said, I don't know Grab. I'd have to do some research.
All right, cool. Any more questions for Matt? Drop them in there. It's been. I mean, the stock speaks for itself. We opened at one point. We got to what? 20. We got to 20. Now we're down to 7.
Wait. Was that this month?
Yes. This
Holy mackerel!
This is a week ago.
Man, this stock market is broken,
dude.
I could talk about markets.
It's brutal, Matt. Talk about it. It's brutal.
I think all the venture capitalists just lost everything. So I do some private deals before they go public.
They did not lose everything.
But, I mean, maybe not everything. But
all the VCs got in so many rounds ago that.
But they're stuck for 6 months, buddy. They can't sell.
Sure, but
so if this thing goes to $3 or $4, I mean, they're handcuffed. I mean, for me, so I'm in private deals. I have 2 companies that are public. We can pull them up. ATHN, NXU. ATHN, NXU. So this is a SPAC. They're about to de-SPAC in December, but I can't sell for 6 months. So, I mean, this goes from 10. Okay, so my cost base is, I think, I don't know if I should say it. It's like $4 or $5. So I have a lot of protection, but obviously I want to make money. This stock is awesome. They're the future of solar technology.
What, Athena?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Bill Gross, you guys should look, not Bill Gross, the PIMCO, but Bill Gross has like 50 or 100 exits. I mean, this guy is one of the smartest tech guys in the world. He never is the CEO of a company. He thinks this is the future of saving the planet. And I've seen this live. I mean, this technology is amazing. And they have Whiteside as a partner. They have Rio Tinto, Mittal, like the biggest miners. And my guess is they're holding back any announcements because there's no reason to put announcements out when you're pre-SPAC, or sorry, pre-de-SPAC, before the de-SPAC. So this is a name I absolutely love. Their technology will move us to renewable energies a lot quicker. So what they do is they use artificial intelligence to move mirrors to get the best part of the sun, and it's so much cheaper. And so now I'm worried, right? If they take everything, the baby out the bathwater, we'll just go to 5, and I'm stuck here at, can't do anything.
Yeah.
NXU is another one I did in the pre-market. I did that one. This is my favorite play for energy storage. So pull up that one, NXU.
There was a question in the chat about your thoughts on Sierra Wireless, SW.
Oh, baby. Sierra, I'm glad you brought it up. SWR is of all the ones I'm waiting for. Can't believe I didn't think about it. That's my number one to deploy into next year.
Wait, what?
They are the cheapest 5G name out there, bar none.
Wait, what?
SWIR.
Thank you. Dear Lordy. Okay.
It's Canadian. Here's the problem with SWR. It's Canadian. Same thing with the Indian. Like, nobody likes to trade Canadian stocks. They hate the way that Canadians operate. I'm sorry to our buddy Dennis, but but seriously, no company should be listed in Canada.
Okay, and then what was the other one? The N what? Say it again.
NXU.
NXU. Okay.
So everyone is hot on energy storage, right? Via lithium, which is a problem to get. These guys use gravity kinetic solutions. So, as things drop, a lot of energy is generated, right? So they've built this contraption to have long-term energy storage using nothing. It's so amazing to see what they've been able to accomplish. And they have the highest, it's called round trip efficiency, which is how efficient it is to generate energy, and the lowest costs. So not only that, they don't have to get any rare earths. So they don't have to worry about the lithium thing. So they're signing contracts left and right. I think long-term ATHN is going to, I'm either going to have the best home run ever in ATHN, but I'm so confident NXU has consistent returns going forward.
All right, guys, we got to hop. It's just about 11 o'clock here. If you haven't already, hit the like button. We'd appreciate that. Matt Kolb, it is always a pleasure to talk to you, sir. We got to get you on the streams more often because we love you.
Okay. It's a lot more fun now. Like, I hated doing it from afar, but now that I've come back in the office because I'm living back in Detroit for the month, I think I'm going to come on a lot more. I just have to build a sweet background.
Yeah. Matt, we'll talk to you later, Zunaid. Have a good rest of your day. Everyone, I will catch you guys on Benzinga Live. Hit the like button as always, and stay green out there, everyone. Stay green.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. ATH and NXU, stay green.
Oh, good one. Boom. Good one. I like it. All right. Catch you guys over on Benzinga Live.